She walked through the front door wearing a pink hat. That detail should not have meant anything. Children wear hats. But something in the way my daughter moved that evening made my chest tighten before she even looked up at me. Her name is Sophie. She was 8 years old. And she had the most beautiful hair I had ever seen on a child. Thick, golden, and waist length. The kind of hair strangers would stop to compliment in grocery stores. She had inherited it from her great-grandmother, and she treasured every inch of it. She stood in the doorway that evening, hat pulled low, eyes red and swollen. She did not say a single word. She just looked at me the way a child looks at their parent when something has broken inside them. I knelt down and slowly lifted the hat. My hands went cold. Her hair was gone. Not trimmed. Not restyled. Gone. Chopped brutally close to the scalp. Uneven and jagged. There was dried blood above her left ear where the scissors had nicked her skin. And when I checked her backpack, I found her long golden braid stuffed inside a plastic bag like it was trash. I did not cry. I did not scream. A strange, quiet calm settled over me like a heavy blanket. And in that moment, I understood something clearly. This was not an accident. This was a choice someone made. And they were going to answer for it. My name is Claire. I am 30 years old. And until that evening, I believed that family, even complicated family, had certain lines it would never cross. My husband, Daniel, had a sister named Rachel. Rachel ran a popular parenting page on social media. She posted beautiful photos and videos of her daughter, Mia, building an audience of hundreds of thousands of followers. It was her identity, her income, and her obsession. The problem was Sophie. Every time Rachel posted a family photo and Sophie appeared in the background, comments would flood in asking about the little girl with the gorgeous golden hair. Why did Mia's hair look thin compared to the other child? What shampoo does the blonde girl use? Rachel never responded to those comments, but I could feel how much they bothered her. Over the years she had hinted, gently at first and then not so gently, that Sophie should get a haircut. My mother-in-law, Judith, even offered to pay for a salon visit, framing it as a kind gesture. I declined every time. Sophie's hair was hers. It was not our problem that it outshone someone else's content. I should have trusted the feeling in my stomach the morning Judith called to invite Sophie to a special cousin spa day at Rachel's house. Cucumber water, matching robes, a fun afternoon for the girls. Daniel was out of town for work. I had a deadline to meet. Sophie was jumping with excitement. Judith promised she would be there the entire time. I kissed Sophie's forehead and watched her run up the driveway. By 5 o'clock, Judith dropped her off quickly and drove away before I could even wave goodbye. Then Sophie walked through the door in that pink hat. Later, in a calm and quiet voice, Sophie told me what had happened. Rachel told her it was a surprise makeover for a special video. When Sophie started crying and said she did not want her hair cut, Rachel held her still while Judith filmed it. The scissors were moving too fast. Sophie was shaking. That is how the skin above her ear got cut. I held my daughter for a long time. I told her she was beautiful and brave and safe. I called my mother to come and stay with her. Then I got in my car. I drove to Rachel's house. I did not knock the way a polite person knocks. When she opened the door holding a cold drink and smiling, I looked her in the eyes and said very quietly, "You assaulted my daughter for a video." She shrugged. She actually shrugged. She said it was just hair and that the transformation video was performing extremely well online. She said I was being dramatic. That was the moment I stopped feeling anything except focus. Here is what Rachel had forgotten. 2 years earlier, when she and her husband were in serious financial trouble, Daniel had co-signed the legal management of their home through a private family trust. And because Daniel trusted me completely, my name was listed as the primary trustee of that property. Rachel was not an owner. She was a tenant. And she was several months behind on her internal trust payments, something Judith had quietly hidden from us. I walked back to my car and called a family attorney named Robert, a man my father had trusted for decades. I sent him photos of Sophie's hair, the medical report from the urgent care clinic documenting the cut on her ear, and the full trust agreement. Robert reviewed everything within the hour. He told me that under the specific terms of the trust, any documented child endangerment or legal breach allowed the primary trustee to dissolve occupancy immediately, without a standard notice period. He also confirmed we could file an emergency order against Rachel's social media accounts for using an unauthorized minor's likeness obtained through force. I told Robert to draft everything and have it delivered before midnight. It was. At exactly 11:45 that night, a courier arrived at Rachel's door. By midnight, Judith was calling me screaming. By 12:30, Rachel was sobbing, the confidence entirely gone from her voice, begging me to stop. Her talent agency had already dropped her. Her top sponsors had cancelled their contracts after receiving the police report I had filed and the medical photos. The house she built her entire online life around was no longer hers to occupy. I did not negotiate. I blocked both numbers and went upstairs to lie down beside my daughter. 3 months have passed since that night. Rachel and her husband could not afford to fight the legal process or secure a new home on their own. They moved into Judith's small apartment. Rachel's accounts were demonetized following the public attention the legal filings brought. She no longer posts. Daniel and I sold the property, recovered our investment, and used the proceeds to open a college trust fund in Sophie's name. As for Sophie, we took her to a wonderful stylist who specializes in children's hair. She gave Sophie a beautiful short cut that framed her face perfectly. When Sophie looked in the mirror for the first time, she smiled. A real smile. A smile that told me she felt like herself again. Her hair will grow back. It always does. But what I want her to carry forward is not her hair. It is the knowledge that she is protected. That the people who love her do not look the other way. That when someone tries to diminish her, quietly and deliberately and for their own selfish reasons, there is always a calm and steady answer waiting. And that answer does not need to raise its voice.